dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Well, at 6 o'clock, good morning to you. I'm Dakota Makris. I got cut off there, but that's okay. I'm here. All right, let's go over to Brandon this morning. I don't really know what happened, but it's all right. You know, things happen. It's life, and life moves on, just like the weather does.
That's exactly right.
You know, I'm getting better at these segues. I'm telling you.
That's exactly right. We have moved on from the rain, but the fog is not only in here, it's also out there as well. Let's get into it this morning, and you can see dense fog across most of the region this morning. The Big Sandy seeing a little bit less, but again, we're looking at some of that on the sensors out there across the region. WISE, almost zero visibility. We showed you the UVA WISE camera a few minutes ago, and it looked like that. And again, low visibility across most of the area. So be careful. Give yourself plenty of time as you head out the door. Temperatures have not moved much. 62 Clintwood, 71 Wayne. That is our range this morning as you head through the first part of your day. Dew points in the 60s pretty much area wide, but it all depends on where they are. The closer you get to 70, the more sticky it starts to feel. The closer you get to 60, not as bad out there. A couple spots in the low 60s there this morning. Temperatures are going to climb pretty quickly as we go deeper into the afternoon into the 80s, and we'll continue to see again possibilities for about 85 later today, and that's actually the average high for this time of the year. Of course, 85 on the almanac there you'll see is the average and the forecast, and 94 is the record set back on this day in 1986. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, a judge is expected to rule this week on Kentucky's abortion ban. The ACLU and the Attorney General's office had until Monday to submit briefs over a temporary injunction. Right now, a restraining order remains in effect, allowing abortions to continue. It's a block on the state's trigger law that banned abortions once the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. The ACLU filed a lawsuit challenging the ban, saying it violated the state's constitution. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says it doesn't. If the judge grants the temporary injunction, abortions will still be allowed until the lawsuit is heard. In neighboring West Virginia, abortion services can now resume at the Mountain State's only clinic. A circuit judge granted a temporary injunction blocking the enforcement of West Virginia's 1800s era ban on abortion. Well, the sides disagree on whether the old law can coexist with modern statutes passed since Roe v. Wade. The judge pointed to a felony murder statute and contrasted it with the 1849 abortion ban, which carried a much lighter sentence.
In today's world, it is simply too vague to be applied. The people of West Virginia would have no way to know which set of statutes a particular law enforcement agency or county prosecutor would choose to apply, and this is a result that cannot stand.
The Women's Health Center of West Virginia, the state's only abortion clinic, praised the ruling and announced it would resume abortion services. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey announced the state will appeal the ruling as soon as possible. Well, back here in the Commonwealth, the city of Pikeville is suing Suddenlink after years of discussions and concerns regarding the company's service to customers in the city. A lawsuit filed last week claims the company has yet to make any moves toward fixing issues the city brought up years ago, reporting the company to be responsible for $1.2 million in damages. Officials say the franchise is only for cable, but internet is also a concern, so they are working with another company to offer a better option.
It's so important for the future of Pikeville and the future of this region that people have reliable, high-speed internet so they can have an online business if they want that, or they can work from their home if they want to do that.
Suddenlink's parent company shared a statement about the lawsuit saying, quote, "We are in compliance with our franchise agreement and are committed to providing excellent service to the residents and businesses of Pikeville. We have met and been responsive to various requests from the City Commission where we have proposed to meet specific service metrics to demonstrate ongoing compliance. We continue to welcome the opportunity to discuss the city's sustainable response to our proposal and engage on a plan that prioritizes our customers receiving superior services," end quote. Kentucky's newest tool to help mental health is now online. On Monday, Governor Andy Beshear announced the official launch of the new 988 Mental Health Crisis Hotline. The hotline is part of a national effort to move away from the 10-digit suicide prevention line. That number is still working during the nationwide transition. Callers will be connected to a trained mental health professional who can either assist with mental health crisis or connect that person directly to a professional who can help.
You know, I don't think twice. If I fall and I think something's broken, I pick up the phone and I call 911. I know police, fire, EMS, whomever I need is going to be there and they're going to respond. We haven't had that from mental health emergencies in our communities before, but guess what? We have that now.
988 went live in Kentucky during the weekend, and the governor says at least 220 Kentuckians have already called that number. Well, the closest homeless shelter for people in Hazard is in Floyd or Breathitt counties, making it difficult for those without a home to find cooler conditions in the summer and warmer temperatures in the winter. Our Chandler Wilcox tells us how a nonprofit organization is working to open a homeless shelter in Perry County.
Living on the streets.
But if you're homeless, you have nowhere to shower, no clean clothes, no transportation.
Freedom House wants to give homeless people a place they can stay temporarily and make plans to get back on their feet.
We can bridge that gap. We can bring them in, take care of them until such time as they get on their feet.
The last homeless shelter in Hazard was Hope House, where Hanlon volunteered and says struggled to be organized. Now he wants another chance to make a difference, working with people now to find other housing options.
We will find you a spot. We don't want anybody out in the street or out in the cold. You know, that's our main goal. And yes, we're going to be faith-based, but that don't mean anyone's excluded.
An example of homeless shelters giving people success is J.J. Foltz, a peer support specialist at Rebound Center, who struggled with addiction and found stability at a shelter in Owensboro.
Those people right there, man, really, that homeless shelter gave me the structure that I needed at that time, you know.
Hanlon says Foltz's story shows what people can find when they get into a structured shelter.
JJ now gives back to the community. And on you could go. You know, there's several people right here in their community that were homeless, and a homeless shelter helped bridge that gap.
Both Hanlon and Foltz say that the homeless community feels forgotten without a shelter in the area. From Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Hanlon also says there's no timetable for when a homeless shelter may open, as they are waiting to get enough grant money to fund a place where people can stay. Well, a new People's Insurance location opened in Inez yesterday. The community and members of the establishment celebrated the new opening with a ribbon cutting at the newest location. The Inez location was one of 3 ribbon cuttings to happen Monday afternoon. Casey LaGuire, the Senior Vice President of Sales, says that 2 other locations in Pikeville and Louisa were also celebrating openings yesterday.
Today's just a big celebration of new people, new service, new expertise to kind of help us give folks a better client experience.
Employees say they hope this grand opening helps attract more customers to the area. 13 Western Kentucky University students from the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity are nearly 3,000 miles into a bike trek across the country. And yesterday, they made it to the mountains. It's a yearly tradition for the fraternity, but as WYMT's Keaton Hall explains, from Wesley County, it's about much more than just the memories.
Coast to coast, 3,400 miles with just 2 trucks and a trailer.
It's been a lot harder than I was expecting, especially from the mental aspect. I think everybody knew coming into the trip that it was going to be hard physically. I mean, we're biking across the country.
Drew Trapp is part of the group of 13 Western Kentucky University students biking from San Francisco to Virginia Beach.
It absolutely has been a bonding experience because we spend just about every minute of every day together for 70 days straight.
But the summer-long ride is about more than making memories. It's about helping to preserve them.
One of the most interesting things has been hearing people's stories as it relates to Alzheimer's. And so many people have been impacted, and that's irrespective of where they're from or where they have been. That's what's kind of neat, is it's brought us all together through the hardship and through the different things that we've experienced through this disease.
This is the 10th year Bike for Alz has made the cross-country trip, raising money for Alzheimer's research, a journey with personal significance for several of the riders.
Alzheimer's is kind of ran in my family. My great-grandmother had Alzheimer's disease, and one of the big reasons why I did the ride personally was one of my best friends from high school. His grandmother actually just died last summer from Alzheimer's.
Monday, the group stopped for the night at Big Creek Missions in Hyden, a little more than 500 miles from the finish line, and a long way from San Francisco.
One thing was biking across the Golden Gate Bridge. I think that's probably one of the memories that I'm going to have with me forever.
The journey of a lifetime, in the hopes of one day making sure no journey is forgotten. Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Bike for All's riders are hoping to raise $150,000 for Alzheimer's research this year. If you'd like to help them reach that goal, you can find more information on WYMT.com.
6:10 here on this Tuesday morning. We are looking at some fog up on top of Buffalo Mountain at our transmitter site. You can see a little bit of a breeze up there too, so just continue to be careful as you travel across the region this morning. 68 up there and in Hazard as well. 69 Prestonsburg, 71 Wayne and Ashland, 70 Moorhead and Jacksboro this morning. 64 in Williamsburg, 63 Wise, 62 in Clintwood. 85 your forecast high this afternoon. Stray rain chances are possible as clouds give way to sunshine. Again, that fog pretty thick and dense out there this morning, so give yourself plenty of time to get around. Slow clearing today on the headlines. Chances for storms possibly tomorrow night going into early Thursday, and then a heat wave approaches. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you. Well, coming up here on Mountain News this morning, the Department of Public Safety down in Texas investigates the police response during the deadly shooting at Robb Elementary.